Hey guys, my name's Anicia, and oh my god, this is like so weird. Wake up and nothing's wrong. Just get ready for work. Work to me, I'll be work. Hey guys, my name's Anicia, and as you guys can see by the title, I'm gonna be telling you guys about the time where I was 14 and pregnant. So I was 14, I was a freshman in high school, and I had been dating this boy. We would go to school, but we weren't really going to school. Like, we would just go to his house, but we would tell our parents, like, yeah, we're going to school, whatever. We would go to his house, and you know what went down. After like about 2 months of just ditching school all the time, my school ended up calling my mom and telling her, like, your daughter's never here, so she's getting dropped. So then they dropped me from school. I was on home studies. I wasn't allowed to see my boyfriend. I wasn't really even allowed to have a boyfriend, but like my grandparents, they knew about it, but like they just basically told me, like, you're not gonna see him, so like good luck. So yeah, so at the time when I got dropped from school, we were actually moving. We were moving houses. I would still text my boyfriend at the time, and we would always talk every single day, and I had no idea that I was pregnant. For those 2 months that I got dropped out of school, I didn't get a period. Mind you, I didn't really pay attention to it just because, like, I was just like, okay, like, I missed my period. Like, I don't know, I just didn't think that I was pregnant. Like, that never crossed my mind. One day, I had woke up in the morning, and as soon as I woke up, my brother had brought McDonald's. I smelled the McDonald's, and I was like, what the like, it was gross to me. Like, it was like, what the hell is that? And like, I just got up, and I ran to the restroom, and I like started like throwing up a whole bunch. Like, it was so gross. And I didn't know, I didn't think, like, still didn't think I was pregnant. Like, I was just like, I'm just sick, and I just felt super nauseous after that. I just laid in bed. Next day came, I threw up again in the morning. Day after that, I threw up again in the morning, and I just kept doing that for like 2 weeks. During those 2 weeks, I didn't start to think, like, am I pregnant, until like the middle of the second week of me like throwing up and shit like that, just because I was like, why is this happening every day? And like, I only feel nauseous in the morning, and during the rest of the day, like, I don't know, like, I felt fine. So then when I would take a shower, I would kind of like look at my stomach. I was a really skinny girl. Like, I'm still skinny now, but like, I'm still skinny now, but like, I was like skinny, and like my stomach just had like a little lump to it, and I was kind of like I don't know, like, I just didn't, like, I was just like, okay, like, maybe I'm just like, my mind's just messing with me, I'm just paranoid, like, that's all it is. So I didn't think anything of it, and then finally, after like just telling my grandparents, like, I don't even know what's wrong with me, like, I don't know why I'm throwing up so much, my grandma's gonna make me a doctor's appointment, so much stuff was gonna happen. But after like me just kind of like putting 2 and 2 together, like, okay, I missed my period, my stomach's looking like it has a little lump, I'm throwing up every morning, I went to my older sister, and I was kind of like, I think I'm pregnant. And she was like, what? Like, it was just like weird for us to like even like talk about that, but it was weird. And so she ended up telling me, like, look, like, I'm gonna go buy you a pregnancy test tomorrow, and like, you're gonna take it, and you're gonna tell me if you're pregnant or not. And the next day I took the pregnancy test. Oh, mind you, while me telling her, like, oh, I think I'm pregnant and all that stuff, I was also telling my baby's father this, or I didn't know I was pregnant at the time, but my baby's father, I was also telling him this, and he wasn't mad about it or anything. He was kind of just like, well, like, let's see what's gonna happen. I ended up taking the pregnancy test. Both of them came out positive, like, right away, and I was so scared. And like, the first person I told was my baby's father. I called him and I told him, like, I'm pregnant. I was like crying to him, and I was sad. I was sad, I was scared, and I don't know, I didn't know what to do. And like, his only reaction was, are you serious? Like, he was happy about it, and he was like, yes, like, we're gonna have a baby, and like, like, I'm gonna get a job, I'm gonna go to work, and like, we're gonna be together, and and I was kind of just like, what? Like, I'm 14 years old, like, what are you talking about? Like, I was just crying. He was trying to calm me down, and I was telling him, like, how am I gonna tell my grandparents this? Like, I don't know, I just didn't know what to do. And so after he calmed me down, he had told me, you know, tell your older sister, so that way, like, you know, she can like talk to you about it. So I told my older sister, and she basically she was really supportive. She basically just told me, like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to keep the baby? Or I basically told her, like, you know, obviously I'm gonna keep it, like, I'm not gonna abort my baby. So word ended up getting out to my grandparents some way that it shouldn't have, but it did. And my grandparents basically knew already, and they were waiting for me to tell them. And so finally one day my Thea had came over, my older sister was there, and we basically just sat my grandparents down and we told, and like my grandma was kind of just like, what is it? And like my grandfather, he was kind of just like standing there staring at me like go ahead, like say it. And so I was just sitting there, I was just like really like scared. My grandma goes, what is it? Is she pregnant? You're pregnant, huh? And my Thea goes, yeah, she's pregnant. And then I started crying. And my grandfather was just like he knew it. He was like, I knew already, like, I'm not dumb. My grandma had like so many kids before, so he already saw me with all the symptoms, and so he wasn't stupid, like he knew. And so he kind of just like walked away and kept doing his own thing. Like obviously he was disappointed too. My grandma was just telling me, like, she was really mad, and she was like, don't think that your boyfriend's gonna be coming around, you know, like whatever. Like she just, you know, she was just like really going off, and like she was mad. And then my mom ended up coming, and she, like right around the time I was like crying and everything, she sat down next to me and she's like, what's going on, and my grandma goes, she's pregnant. And my mom looked at me and she's like, Anicia, like, are you serious? Like, you're pregnant? And so I was just like still crying, and like she got up and she's like, she said my baby's father's name, and she's like, I'm going to his house. We lived around the corner from each other, so she knew where he lived. She's like, I'm going to his house. She called his mom and she's like, where is he at? And his mom is telling her like he's at or no, I don't think he was home. She was like, we're not home yet. But my mom basically told his mom like, you know, Anissa's pregnant, and his mom was just like trying to pretend like she didn't know, but like she already knew. Like they knew already. He had already told his parents. His mom was like, I guess, like upset about it. His dad wasn't really upset about it. Like his parents were way different than mine. And so like they had already knew and everything. Everyone was just waiting for me to tell my grandparents. My mom calmed down, and she came next to me, and she sat next to me, and she hugged me, and she just told me like, I'm gonna be here for you, because my mom had gotten pregnant at 15 too, I think. So like my mom knew what I was going through, and she was like, I'm gonna be here for you the entire time. Like, you know, like I'm disappointed, but like, you know, we're gonna get through this. After just like crying, I just went to my room. My grandparents and my mom and my brothers, they all ended up going to my baby's father's house. My brothers wanted to fight him, like so much drama. My grandparents were still against like me talking to him or at all. Like they took my phone, like I had no contact with him at all, and like they didn't want him around or anything like that. And I was really, really sad. Yeah, I was really, really sad. And so I kind of just like stayed in my room a lot. My grandfather didn't talk to me really at all. He didn't talk to me for about 2 months after that. And then yeah, so I started to go to my doctor's appointments. My baby's father was not allowed to go with me. Like I still wasn't allowed to see him. My mom would leave for a week because she had to go to work somewhere else, and then she would come back for a week. So the week that she was gone, I had no contact with him. But when she would come back, my mom stayed with me in my room, so I would use her phone and I would like text him, and like you know, that was like our only contact that we had, even though we literally lived down the street from, like, this is my house. Okay, this is my house. All I had to do was walk down the street and turn, and right there, that's his house. During my pregnancy, things were really hard for me. I just felt really depressed. I didn't really have contact with my baby's father, and like that's really all I wanted. Like I just wanted to talk to him, and like I just wanted to see him, and my grandparents just wouldn't allow it. So then during my pregnancy, my cervix, I don't know if you guys know what that is. Some of you might, but if you don't, just Google it. My cervix was like thinning, I guess, and so I started having complications with my daughter. She was basically going to be born early, like way earlier than what she was supposed to be born, and so I had to be on bed rest. I was always in the hospital. I had been hospitalized like 3 times. One time was for like 2 weeks. The next time was just for a few days, and after that it was just for a few days too. And like just a lot was happening while I was hospitalized. My grandparents did allow my baby's father to be there. And like he was there for me, and like I was happy with that. But after that, like I don't know, it was just still hard to like be in contact with him. Like they were, and I understand that, like they were just still trying to come to accept it, which is, you know, I understand that. After like 7 months, my grandparents were finally like, okay, like yeah, like you can start seeing him, but not every day, just like sometimes, and like, you know, you got to be doing something for the baby, like go shopping for the baby or something. So that's what we were doing. Every time that we saw each other, we would go shopping for the baby. We would buy her clothes and like just whatever she needed. And so I did start seeing him. They ended up giving me my phone back, and excuse me, and I was back in contact with him. And after that, things were a little better. I was still just like kind of scared because I was like, I'm about to have my baby. I'm about to have a baby in a few weeks, and like, you know, I was just scared. After Juliet was born, things were okay with her. Like she actually she ended up being born on time, and like she was perfect. Things were okay with my family. Everybody loved my daughter. My grandparents are obsessed with my daughter. Like, they're obsessed with her, and they're happy with me now again. And yeah, the only thing that started to mess up, I guess, after I got pregnant was my relationship with my baby's father, and things just got really difficult. And you know, it's because we had a lot on us. Like, you know, we're parents now. While I was pregnant, I had ended up turning 15. He turned 16. And you know, we just had a lot on us, and like it was just so much stress having to deal with like money wise, if we were gonna have enough money to buy Pampers this day, or like, you know, and it really took a toll on us as a couple. And like, at least that's the excuse I use for it. And I was always sad. It was just, I feel like a lot was expected of us, and we kind of got wrapped up into thinking we were adults when we weren't. We weren't adults. Like, things just got really hard between us. And you know, after like another like year of being with him, you know, my daughter turned 1. Like, during that year, like, it got really difficult. Things got really difficult. It got to the point where it was just like really unhealthy for me to keep dealing with the things that I was dealing with, and we just decided to go our separate ways. And it was best for my daughter, because she shouldn't have been seeing what she was seeing. She shouldn't have been placed in that predicament at all. So I'm not with my baby's father anymore, and I'm happy now. And you know, he's moved on, I've moved on, and things are good. Yeah, guys, so that's my story of being 14 and pregnant. My daughter is gonna be 2 in just a couple months, and she's happy and healthy, and yeah, so
and we're back.
And yeah, so that was my 14 and pregnant story. I hope you guys liked it. And how do I do this? Okay guys, so yeah, that was my 14 and pregnant story. There's a lot more details, but maybe I'll save like more details for my relationship for a different like story time video or something like that. But as of right now, that's my 14 and pregnant story. And yeah, so you'll be seeing a lot more of me and my daughter and my boyfriend. In a couple weeks, we're gonna be going to Disneyland, and we're gonna stay out there for a few days. And we're gonna vlog the entire thing and obviously post it on here. Just be expecting a lot more vlogs, sit down videos, challenges, everything involving me, my daughter, my boyfriend.
Boy, if you don't get...
Just be expecting a lot more vlogs, challenges, sit down videos, everything like that from me, my boyfriend, and my daughter. And yeah, so subscribe, like, and share this video. If you have any comments on this video, just leave it down in the comments section. Yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.